David Bogie, and I'm talking to you today about Together Town. I want to talk about five aspects of Socratic dialogue. What I would really love to do in the first aspect of Socratic dialogue is bring a situation like this example of Nelson Peltz, the director, really the controlling shareholder in Wendy's fast food, and other Trian partners. Nelson's the CEO of Trian Partners, like Peter May and his son Matthew Peltz, Dennis and Kenneth, etc., Joseph. They're all controlling the Wendy's Corporation so that they can't talk to the workers. Wendy's Corporation cannot talk to the workers in the field. So the first aspect of Socratic dialogue is to be dialogic, to bring people together in conversations so they can understand what's true about modern day slavery and what's not true. Second aspect of Socratic dialogue is to juxtapose different points of view. Now here we have Drexel Burnham, we have the Trian Partners hedge funds, all these partners and directors, and how they affect Wendy's. And they really dominate Wendy's. But we would like to juxtapose different points of view and include the workers' points of view in a Socratic dialogue. Number three, everybody's a hero of their own Socratic dialogue. I did a videotape yesterday, day before I think it was, on Nelson Peltz and how he's the hero of hedge funds. He's the hero of going into a corporation, doing cost cutting, scaring the hell out of executives, maybe changing out the CEO, doubling the dividends to shareholders, really taking the meat cleaver to an organization and cutting away the fat. That's what he's known for. And he's a hero of that sort of interaction with corporations. Number three, Socratic dialogue, though, is eliciting from all the various participants in a dialogue their idea systems, and so they can test each other's idea systems and check it out. And the thing about a fair food program with that we'd like to bring into this conversation, in this diagram, we'd like to bring in the fair food program and show how it can increase the bottom line. Yeah, instead of laying people off and cutting costs, you actually bring workers into participation. They work harder. Socratic principle of dialogue number 5 is organically combined participation. So participative thinking. And what I'm showing you in this diagram is not participative thinking. I want to talk to you about the 7 true storytelling principles. Now, what happens a lot in my experience is people get started with the truth. You yourself must be true and prepare the energy and effort for a sustainable future. Well, it's not just about yourself, it's about doing together telling. So if you stop there at principle 1, you've just got some off-the-shelf truth or some experience of truth or some facts you've collected about what's true, but you haven't done the work of getting in a storytelling circle and listening to other people's truths and sharing them with each other. And that's why I started with the Socratic dialogue. Number 2, making room. True storytelling makes spaces respecting the stories already there. Now, the issue with that is people have a different history than you do. And each new innovation, each new technology, each new war in the world, each new climate change shift affects your history. You pull out different histories depending on your relationships and who you're talking to and who your audience is. And often we forget the important things of our past that could be relevant to the situation. Number 3, we start to look at the future. You must create stories with a clear plot, creating direction, and help people prioritize. All right. Sorry we misspelled "and" there, but we'll get that corrected. So I think futures are not just rolling over from the past and we're going to repeat the same strategy of the past and the future. We need new strategies that arrive to build worlds that solve some of the major problems of our time. And this is what's important, that there's more than one bet of the future going on. In each bet of the future, we put in resources and we invest things, and it affects the outcome. And it affects the nature of being that we're in. Number 4, let's get to being. We call it timing. You must have timing, but you also must have a place, and you must have an attention to what's mattering. I call it, after Bakhtin, being in the once occurrent eventness of being. His book here, Toward the Philosophy of the Act, is all about the once occurrent eventness of being, and how we're in that once occurrent eventness. Hopefully we have some freedom to be there, some discovering, some creative activity. But most important is what Bakhtin calls, and this you can find it on page 2 and 3 here, the double-headed aspect of answerability. So one aspect of answerability is in like the first principle where it's called content sense. This is the content of the truth. These are the facts of the truth. These are my opinion, but my judgments of what's true. And you better listen. But in the once current eventness of being, we're trying to get to participative thinking, the timing of our participation together and being in a space together and to understand what's happening. And that's number 4. Number 5, help stories along. You must be able to help stories on their way to be open and to experiment. This is where we get into restorying, and we're doing it in together telling. So it's not a bunch of people each telling their story in rotation, in sequence, without listening to each other. And it's more than just telling and listening. It's actually dialogic interaction, that Socratic dialogue I spoke about before. And number 6, staging. You must consider staging, including scenography and artifacts. Why? Because who are you doing this storytelling for? Somebody's got to understand the storytelling that you're generating in together telling. And to do that, it's nice to do storyboards. It's nice to stage things, put some artifacts together, create some scenes. And I'll put up an image here of the Coalition of Immokalee Workers. They have this one play I went to in Ohio, and on one side of the stage was the workers in modern day slavery. No breaks, hot sun, no gloves, no water, people beating on them. They're called coyotes. They're like foremen that gather up people and lock them away at night, steal their wages, and threaten them with violence if they try to leave the field and go home or go somewhere else. So, but in the staging, there's the other side of the stage, and it has water and breaks and kind of that place of working that makes agricultural works and harvests, not enjoyable per se, but, not modern day slavery either. And there's a bridge between the two sides of the stage, and Wendy's, the red-haired, pigtailed young lady that was Dave Thomas's daughter, and she became the name of the restaurant, Wendy's. And so the Coalition of Immokalee Workers help Wendy's see what's going on in the modern-day slavery side of the stage, bring her across the bridge into the Fair Food Program, where these problems are dealt with. Number 7, reflecting. You must reflect on the stories and how they create value. Okay, now value, kind of a loaded word. Value means different things to different people. I don't value the kind of cost-cutting, downsizing, pay the dividends to shareholders off the back of the workers. I don't like that kind of capitalism that's the vampire that sucks the living blood out of the workers. That's a quote from Karl Marx. Hey, he understood the working day. But reflection and together telling, I got to understand somebody that's from Marx, somebody that's a capitalist like Nelson Peltz, the people that were working in the field, and I need a participative thinking. to participate in these dialogues so that my reflection is dialogical. And I hope that that's something that you all can. 13th Annual Quantum Storytelling Conference in Nashville, Tennessee. Go to the Fisk University website, that's fisk.edu, and look for the Quantum Storytelling Conference. We're organizing it on the topic of together telling. It's December 13th to the 17th, 2023. There's a lot of good people coming there. I'll be there. And you can register here. You can find out the prices for Zooming in. Not very much, $50, I think. And if you want to attend in person, I think it's $150. We got good keynotes. We got good workshops. We do a lot of interactive things. And we're going to explore that whole topic of together telling. So give us a like today for this video. Give us a subscribe. And I hope you really, really enjoyed today's video. Thank you very much.